All right. Hello and welcome, everyone. Today's video is part of the ongoing effort to expand the public archive, which you can check out at brozime.com. I'm developing the public archive to be an all-in-one, easy-to-use guide for new and returning Warframe players. If you'd like to get early access to the project notes in progress, or to provide feedback or new ideas for the public archive, you can become a member on Patreon, or additionally, subscribe on Twitch. Thanks so much to all of my current subs and patrons for supporting the project. Now let's jump into the video. All right. Hello and welcome, everyone. So, if you opened this video looking for how to get Thermia, I'm going to let you know right now, this is your upfront, this is your warning. Farming Thermia is awful. It is one of the things in Warframe that makes me not want to play Warframe when I do it. And I would suggest doing literally anything else instead of doing Thermia. That means that I would advise, instead of playing this content that will make you not want to play this game, buy Hildren. Go farm Platinum. That will be more fun. Whether, like, no matter what way you accrue money in real life to buy Platinum, that will probably be more fun. And also, farming for the items to sell for Platinum in-game will almost certainly be more fun than the Thermia farm. It's also not time-limited like Thermia is. Those of you that don't know, Thermia is a time-limited event, which means that you cannot get Thermia unless it is showing up in the world state here, Thermia fractures. This goes on for about 2 weeks-ish, and it happens every 3 or 4 weeks between, I would say. It's relatively frequent, and it is terrible. Terribly, terribly awful. It is required, however, if you would like to do Exploiter Orb, which is where Hildren comes from, and also has a couple of exclusive ephemera that are also locked behind it through Exploiter, because Exploiter, you know, has that incredibly small chance to drop either of those ephemera. It's something like 6%, which means you'll be farming Thermia for a long, long time. You can do this farm in a group, but all I can tell you is that while it is much easier in a group, and obviously you'd be hanging out with people, which will make it more fun by default, finding 3 masochists to do this content with you is going to probably be pretty tough. I know that you'll almost certainly not be able to do it in my Discord. Maybe they exist somewhere. I would suggest probably a BDSM Discord. That might be where you'd find the people interested. Moving on from that, let's talk about the gear. If you actually want to play this, this is relatively accessible. But the first thing we're going to note is that the Amisha is the best way to do this because you can do a workaround, which we're going to be showing, to not really have to, like, play it. And instead you just have to kind of manage the defenses of it using Benevolent Decoy. So this is the Amisha build. This is, you know, pretty regular here. It's no Forma. Obviously there are some expensive mods in here like System Reroute. But honestly, if you're thinking about doing Thermia, you should go kit out an Amisha and probably get to like MR30 and do many other things instead. So you should get an Amisha. This comes from the Tenno Lab, from the dojo. It's really, honestly, pretty low resource. The worst thing that you need for this is 6 Nitane, which is really not so bad with the Nightwave being so generous and everything like that, and that's very accessible to new players. You don't need all this. System Reroute is really nice, but is very much not necessary because you will probably just like build some energy pads, worst case scenario. I would highly advise Efficient Transferal, as it'll just mean you have to refresh your bubble less often. And also Energy Amplifier, because it increases the range of the bubble, meaning you can activate it from more places and it'll still cover the objective like it needs to. Strength is also helpful, but not needed at all. And then the additional energy max will make using energy pads for this a whole lot better, so I'd advise it. The rest of these are just some durability mods, which are kind of neither here nor there, because we're going to be out on the plains for this, or not out on the plains, out in Fortuna for this. But yeah, this, just by itself with any frame, can do this farm for Thermia. So if you have this, you can do it. It is a long, arduous farm. If you want to like actually play the content, Protea is pretty decent at it. This is a new player-friendly Protea. Nice budget build, really low to the ground. I think this is 0 Forma, fairly certain, pretty much certain this is 0 Forma, and it just definitely is if you remove the mobilize. But yeah, Protea is solid for this. She can give herself energy so that the bad energy economy of Fortuna is like kind of, you know, worked around. Grenade Fan is good for both keeping yourself alive and also protecting the things, and Blaze Artillery is also good for destroying the things. I will say, even with how good Protea is, it is still a pain. We're using the Nataruk. The Nataruk comes from New War. This is a new player-friendly build for it. Obviously, by the time you're a New War, like, I could very easily probably suggest this build to you, which requires the Steel Path, which is also a thing you should definitely do before you even consider looking at Thermia once. But if you are just really early and for some reason you really need Hildren because you really want her to step on you, I would point you towards Twitter, where there are many artists for you to commission this fetish as opposed to trying to get Hildren in-game. But you could use this build if you really must have it that way. We're also using the Epitaph. The Epitaph, this is what we bring to the Exploiter fight, so it can be assumed that if you're getting Thermia, I sure hope you're going to actually be using it to fight Exploiter, because that's the only thing that is even mildly worthwhile. So this is very good for fighting Exploiter, and it will serve us well for killing anything that we need to kill here, specifically the cold spiders that will drop the things that we need. Then we are using the new player Saurus. I don't think I throw it once in the example here, but all new players should have this around the time they're MR4 or 5, and it is like the most worth it thing to put together. The only thing that's kind of hard to get here is Volatile Quick Return, but it also doesn't really add anything super meaningful to the build, although it is extremely nice to have. So yeah, that's what's up. Also, like, using the Void Rig, you can use the Void Rig on like either this like low investment build, or you could even use like the super poverty build if you wanted to. But honestly, you'd be better off farming this absurd build that no one needs than farming Thermia. Sorry if I'm a broken record about it. I wish this content was removed from the game, and there are many good reasons to do that. So yeah, that's what's up. I have the run pre-recorded. Enjoy it. It is a terrible time proposition, because it is, even if you do it the efficient way I'm showing in this video, it's like about a 12-minute-ish run per single Thermia. And you can't make it any faster, really, outside of doing all 4 canisters, which is not that much faster even, and is just mind-numbingly bad with like constant spawning radiation, allowing you to blow up your own objective, and like just constant nullification, and like 100 quadrillion enemies spawning on a mission that gives you no rewards almost at all. Yeah, a truly miserable experience that I would advise you not to endure unless you have some bad reason. I can't think of a good one. There isn't a good reason. Not one I can think of. If you can think of a good reason to do this content, I want you to tell me what it is in the comments. You really gotta, because I don't think you can think of one. I don't think that's real. But yeah, that's enjoy it, I guess. Enjoy watching it so that you will know not to do it. And I'll see you tomorrow. Yeah, I think Hell is just doing Thermia. I think that's what Hell is. That's what Hell is doing Thermia. Yeah, 2 canister strat, I guess, has to be the thing. Even though it makes me want to die, it's way safer. Alright, we found a fart gas. We have the shit content gas coming out of the ground right here. We're going to teleport to the Temple of Prophet. Oop, wrong way. Here is the orb. Turning on the Amish's 1. Using the Epitaph, which we use for the Exploiter fight. So if you're looking to do Exploiter, you're going to want to have that already anyway. Grabbing our 2 canisters, holding M. Where's our waypoint? Over here. Teleporting over here, which we thankfully can do. Alright, put 1 canister in. Put 2 canisters in. Go into the Amisha. Activate our 2 a bunch. Fly to space. You want to get like 150, 200 up. Drop an energy pad. You should only need to do this once because we have energy siphon. And now we're waiting for the top left timer, and our bottom right timer for our Amishas 2 is protecting this. You can do this with any frame. Because obviously our frame's not important for this at all. Oh yeah, it's important, Mew, thank you. You do have to go straight up from the objective, because if you get too far off to one of the sides, it'll just auto-fail. So don't do that. It'll also ruin all your progress if you're, like, halfway done with this, because we do have to do this twice. How fun. Yeah, there's like 20 seconds left. We're just going to go down here. Hit that real quick. Bump it back up. Don't need to go that high. And we wait. Also, this does look like I'm, like, cheesing this content or whatever, and I am. This is cheesing this content. But if you would like to go, like, down and actually do it, it's miserable. It is miserable shit content that gives basically no rewards whatsoever. So I do not care. The game would be better if Thermia were entirely removed from it, and this is better than doing this content. Like, they should remove the ability for this event to even happen, and they should make it so Exploiter takes 0 Thermia to do, and move the rest of the rewards from, like, the Thermia event to borrow also. Problem solved. What if this never was ever thrust upon someone ever again? The world would be a better place. Best way to farm Orokin cells? That's Saturn's Hydron equivalent. I'm sure someone in chat remembers the name. What is Helen? Helen, there you go. Helen on Saturn. That's where I would suggest for the Orokin cells. Alright, it should finish. We're going to need to grab our half-full canister, and then we have to go get another canister from the orb. You can bring 4 canisters to one of these, and then the number up here will go to 175. But it's really inconsistent with this strategy, it seems like, because some modifiers just screw this over for no reason. Because a bunch of bullshit begins to happen whenever you put more and more canisters in it. 2 canisters adds, like, a minor amount of bullshit. 4 canisters adds all of the bullshit. So I would instead suggest that you just do 2 canisters. Like, just do it twice. It takes longer, but it's slightly less shitty. Slightly. And consistency is really what you'd rather have here. Also worth noting, everything that we're going to be doing is going to get you 1 Thermia, and the absolute minimum in order to build Hildren is 6 Thermia if you are extremely lucky. Let me... Here we go. So yeah, if you're extremely lucky, then there's that. Oh, I need to find another Visure first before we go get Profit Taker stuff. Or not Profit Taker, Exploiter, rather. There's one. Go ahead and mark that. Then head up to the Temple of Profit. Where am I right now? I wish my icon was a different color. Right here. Why 6? So you need 1 Thermia per fight. Yeah, so you need the orbs from her. You need 6 of them in order to, like, build Hildren. There, we got to figure out where Exploiter has wandered off to. Up here. Hopefully her little guys have not gotten stuck somewhere. There they are. So there's one anyway. This is close enough, I guess. If you do not have a leveled operator, instead of doing this, go level your operator. It is considerably a better use of your time. Like, by a lot. I don't know if putting the other one in first will screw things up. My advice is to not find out. I certainly don't want to. Ugh. How much time have we wasted in this mission so far? Nice, 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 nice. My advice is generally, during this part, just try and zone out and pretend you're somewhere else. A very nice mobster. What the heck did you just do? I just put a big defensive bubble around this thing. It protects my sanity. You can cast from that far? I flew down there to cast it. Rather do this than the annoying grind that was Grendel. What? Grendel is 3 missions and then you're done. Like, they're not good. Like, that content is also not good. But at least you just do 3 missions and then you're done. Like, the alternative is doing this. Like, you might have to do this for upwards of 6 hours to get Hildren. Like, we talked about this a little bit, but, like, you should farm Platinum if you just want Hildren. Like, if the reason that you're doing this is to get Hildren, you should farm Platinum instead. It will be faster. Even if you're on console. And obviously, that's about to change with crossplay and stuff, but still. We're out here. It should be, like, just before 13 minutes that it'll be done. I think that's right. You can see the canister is getting damaged a little bit, but it'll heal up. There you go. It's healing up. The 2 will also provide healing to the canister so that it doesn't die. That's also part of what the 2 is doing. There's a balance that's going on here that, honestly, I hope this content gets removed, so I'm not going to bother explaining it. Just use the 2 on the thing. There we go. So we have that, and then we grab this, and we get 1 Thermia. It only took 11 minutes. Not less. Like, I thought it was going to take like an extra minute. Only 11 minutes to get a single Thermia. Boosters do work on it, which is why you see I have 2. Don't do this. Don't do this. Just hope it gets removed. Tell DE what if it just didn't exist. Like, whatever it takes. Hildren's not worth it. I don't care who you need to step on you. Like, go commission an artist on Twitter if you need that. Like, if that's what you need, if, like, that's why you're farming Hildren, like, you can get your fix somewhere else. It'll be better than this. So don't do this. Just don't. There are better ephemera. The ephemera from Exploiter are like mid at very best. Just don't do it. Just don't do it. Don't do it.